Story 1. I used to be one of those people who recorded many concerts I attended with my phone. I didn't do it to post or share, but I often went back and watched the videos. A couple of years ago, I realized how much I was letting my phone take over my life, so I started cutting back. Now, I only allow myself to record one video per concert, then I turn the phone off. I get one video to remember the moment and spend the rest of the show living it. This change has made a big difference for me. Concerts are much more enjoyable when you forget about your phone and just sing and dance to your favorite songs. Story 2. I will record about a minute here or there to take home with me. However, you are right, some people overdo it. Story 3. Paying for a live show only to watch it through a phone feels like buying restaurant food just to smell it. The real payoff is the bass vibrating in your ribs, the crowd singing the chorus together, and the goosebumps you cannot save to a camera roll. Grab a 10-second clip if you must, then put the screen away and let the moment do its thing. Story 4. I don't understand it. You're better off watching a whole live stream or watching recaps and highlights. Story 5. Not to mention, the quality and sound are never good. Then they try to show you the recording as if you would care, but it sounds awful. It is like people who listen to music on their phones with the speaker enabled, which is very annoying. Story 6. I wonder about this often, not just for concerts, and I think for me it is a way to memorialize the event or the occasion. With so many of my memories frozen in photos or videos, it almost feels like if it is not captured in the same way, then it could not have happened. It is a strange evolution, the way our memories are being captured through a camera phone lens rather than our own eyes. Story 7. As long as their phone is not blocking my view, to each their own. I record the best moments from my favorite songs and definitely revisit those videos every now and then, so maybe others do too. Story 8. I went to a show recently, and they specifically asked for phones to be put away during the set. People obliged, and it was great. For the encore, they said, "Okay, if you must, you can record this one." Every phone came out for the first 30 seconds or so, and it was distracting. I couldn't see anything but screens. People figured it out, and the phones went down pretty quickly. Story 9. In my case, because I am very short and did not expect everyone to stand up in front of me at the orchestra seating during the concert, the only way I could see the stage was by holding my phone up and watching through my screen. I thought I might as well record since it was already there. Story 10. To me, it is very inconsiderate to the people behind you. I record one song in the middle of the show as a memory and make sure I am not obscuring anybody's view. The phone stays in my pocket for the rest of the show. Going to watch a show you paid your money to see and spending half the time on a 6-inch screen is nuts. Story 11. Take your phone in your hand and extend your arm out. Notice how the world outside your phone remains visible, except for what is behind a small rectangle. The idea that recording with your phone significantly hinders the overall experience is incorrect, yet it has become a common belief. Most people do not spend most of the concert recording, if you actually pay attention to any one person. For those who do, it is because it provides some utility. Story 12. I only took a few pictures, but I was surrounded by cinematographers. He was my favorite musician of all time, and I had bought fifth-row tickets. The goddesses smiled upon us, and by the time we sat down, we ended up in the first row. I had to take a picture or 6 because I thought I was dreaming. Story 13. I could never see myself going back and watching a shaky video of a concert with poor sound, other than to just relive a few seconds of the experience. Even that would be unlikely for me personally, but to each their own. I don't have an issue with others doing it. Maybe they just want to remember the occasion, and this is how they do it. Some might argue, why go to a concert at all when you can get better sound quality at home and don't have to look through a sea of phones held in the air to enjoy the experience. The point is, if you're going to a concert for the live experience, like it or not, this is part of it. Story 14. Honestly, I understand the urge. In that moment, I think about how this will be a precious memory that I will love to look back on. But then I do not really watch the videos again. The quality is never great, especially the audio, and hearing myself scream is unpleasant. While it is happening, all I can think of is missing out by not recording, which is silly because that actually leads me to miss out on the moment. Story 15. I usually create only a short clip of about 10 seconds and a photo as a memory. For example, I was at a concert of one of my favorite bands, and then out of nowhere, they started playing my favorite song, which I filmed for 20 seconds. I watched that clip from time to time to relive that amazing moment. Story 16. I am neither for nor against people recording at concerts. However, it amazes me that those against it do not understand that it is possible for someone to hold a phone up and watch the show. Story 17. I am truly here to find a rational answer to this because I notice it way too often, and it bothers me more than it should. Story 18. Some band should just yell out, "Hey Siri, call mom." Make every iPhone user have to hang up their phone and restart the recording. Story 19. You pretend as if one excludes the other. I can put my phone in a certain recording phase and still focus on the concert. I do it sometimes for a part of a song I like so I can later watch it again and have that feeling again. Story 20. I always put the telephone at an angle so it records perfectly, and then I watch through my own eyes. Story 21. I am an avid concert and festival attendee. I take photos and videos sometimes and occasionally share them on social media. However, I do not recognize this type at all. I usually see around 20% of people taking at least some kind of videos or photos. But people spending most of the concert recording? Where are these people? What kind of muscles do they have in their hands? Story 22. To be able to relive that experience and have some type of record of it, especially if it is one that is not otherwise being filmed for release. I do not know why people think you cannot be captivated and in touch with the energy of a concert and record it at the same time. Story 23. Well, why go to a fine restaurant when you can just heat something in the microwave? Why go to the park and fly a kite when you can just take a pill? Story 24. For fans who are far away or cannot attend concerts, recordings made by fellow fans are essential. Many concerts do not have official streams or sell DVDs or concert movies. So these fan-made recordings are often the only way to experience the event. Additionally, although I do not do this often, recording part of a concert is a way to preserve memories to look back on in the future. Story 25. Why go to a concert and pay more attention to the people around you with their phones than to the concert? Story 26. Sometimes I am tempted because I do not want that moment to end, but then I remember how poor the recording will be and leave the phone alone. I have, however, recorded some excellent bootleg sound recordings on a micro voice recorder in a shirt pocket. I listen to those all the time. Story 27. Maybe an outdoor venue would be better, because I do not want to hear the entire crowd sing throughout the show. It is so annoying. Story 28. I like having recordings of concerts to look back on, but we do not need 5,000 people recording it. Story 29. So I can enjoy the show while they record it, and then I get to watch it later on YouTube without having to do any of the work. Story 30. I'm not sure why people film for so long, probably for social media. I like to just hold my phone up while recording for a minute so I can go back and watch it to reminisce. Although I did record a lot at the Elton John concert I went to. It was supposed to be his last one. Story 31. Why go to a Coldplay concert just to film the whole event? You will miss Chris Martin teasing the crowd about the viral kiss cam drama and end up with shaky videos you will never watch. Phones down, people up. Story 32. I don't do it, but my girlfriend does. I also prefer to just enjoy the concert, but it is definitely nice to have some memories to look back on. I still wouldn't do it myself, though. Story 33. It's a vibe that you cannot replicate even if you are on your phone a bit. I do it so I can look back later, and yes, I do rewatch whatever I record. I feel like spending most of my life watching animation helped me learn to focus on two different things at once and switch between them. Story 34. I think for many people, the recording is not about rewatching a bad shaky video later. It is about digital proof of presence. It is a way of saying, I was here, I experienced this cool thing to their social circle, both in the moment and afterwards. It is less about capturing the memory for themselves and more about curating a public image of their life. I do not love it, but I think I understand the psychology behind it. Story 35. To that end, why pay tens of thousands of dollars to sit on stage with a band, record the whole performance, and watch it through your phone? Story 36. I have seizures, so I might not even remember that I was there if not for videos, tickets, and other evidence. My boyfriend, friends, and family can tell me through their experience, but it is not the same. Story 37. I try to keep it to a dull roar. I only take a couple of short videos and a few pictures. Also, I turn my screen brightness down all the way. That is the one thing that bothers me about phones at concerts, how bright some people's screens are. Story 38. Tell me about it. I went to a metal show last week and this kid recorded the entire 3 hours on his phone. I had his arm in my cone of vision for the entire show. Even talking to him and his grandparents during breaks did nothing. I understand taking a few pictures or recording your favorite song of the band or artist that is performing, but recording an entire show goes way too far. Story 39. I like to film snippets as memories. That being said, I really enjoyed the phone-free concert I attended. Story 40. My dad loved concerts when he was younger. He saw all the early rock bands as they were emerging. He and I have very similar tastes in music, so he took me to all my first concerts, starting with 9 Inch Nails in 1999. My dad is no longer able to attend concerts, but he loves reliving the experience. Every concert I attend, I send him 2 or 3 video clips as a "wish you were here." Some are concerts he would enjoy. Others feature bands he hasn't heard before, which introduces him to new music as well. Story 41. Agree. The light from smartphone screens is highly distracting. I am hoping that the Ray-Ban and now Oakley smart frames with cameras will solve this for everyone. Those who need to record can do so while experiencing the event through their own eyes without distracting others. Story 42. I was at a show this week and recorded about half a song, then watched the rest myself. I thought about what was driving me to do it. I think it is just my way of interacting with and observing the world. I like to take pictures of basically everything in my life, and concerts and shows are just one part of it. I do not really share these with the public internet, but I have a really fun and amusing camera roll that I enjoy browsing to reminisce. I am starting to encounter some memory problems, so I strongly feel the need to document as much as I can. I know this is not the answer for everyone, but it is honestly how I feel. Story 43. I hate people who do this. People doing this at shows that are professionally recorded are downright ungrateful in my opinion. Enjoy the moment. You cannot do that if you worry about filming. Story 44. Some people spend $200 to film a blurry video with terrible audio they will never watch again. It is tradition. Story 45. I strongly dislike these people, especially since almost all of them are taller than I am and blocking my view. Story 46. I stopped doing that at the 3rd concert I attended after I realized that no matter how good my phone is, I will never watch the videos or look at pictures of the band. If I want to listen to their music, it has been recorded on better microphones. Story 47. I get outstanding footage, and when I go back to watch it, it takes me right back to the great moments. Besides, I record it for the live audio, not the video. Story 48. People at sporting events as well. Compare the older adults here with the child on the right side of the frame, standing 8 feet from Rory McIlroy, capturing the entire moment directly through his phone lens. Story 49. Last night, Rob Zombie asked everyone to put down their phones for 3 minutes to enjoy a single song. Everyone complied, and it was fantastic not seeing phones blocking my view for a change as they awkwardly recorded the full song. 30 seconds in, I saw one person who just needed to record, followed shortly by a second. It was pathetic to see people addicted to their devices. They likely will not rewatch anything they recorded. Story 50, c'est clair. J'ai souvent l'impression de manquer le moment parce que je filme tout. Parfois, c'est mieux de juste vivre l'instant, sentir la musique et garder le souvenir dans la tête plutôt que sur un écran. Mais bon, chacun son style, tant que ça te fait plaisir. Story 51. I attend about 20 concerts a year. I saw David Gilmour at Madison Square Garden in November. They requested that people keep their cell phones down, and only a few people actually used them. I was surprised because it was a David Gilmour concert, one of his last ever. It was a special performance, and it was hard for me not to record part of it. But I knew it would be available online the next day. I tried to be respectful to the people around me and live in the moment myself. It was the best concert I have ever been to for many reasons, and one of them definitely made the environment around the arena cozier and more involved with the performance. The vibe in a venue when half of the people are on their phones and not living in the moment is very different. I have never been to a performance that requested this before. Most people want to take pictures or recordings to prove that they were at a specific performance. I totally understand visual memories because I enjoy things visually and am a heavy photographer of my life. It brings me joy to go back and look over all the awesome experiences I have had and share them with others. Story 52. I agree with this. If you want to watch it again, it will be on YouTube in better quality than on your phone. Take a couple of snapshots and enjoy the music. Story 53. Because I have a terrible memory, I can look back on it years later from my point of view. I can record in a way that the camera is facing them without looking at the screen, so I get the best of both worlds. Story 54. I don't get it either. Watch the show, dance, sing. You are not a filmmaker. Honestly, are you going to rewatch it? Story 55. Wow, young people problems. I have not been to a concert since smartphones became popular, and I am happier for it. I was paying attention to the concert itself 100%. Story 56. I always find this subject fascinating. The short answer is that many people go to concerts now just to be seen there and to post on social media that they are there. This also explains why trying to get a ticket to gigs nowadays is extremely difficult. What did people do before phones with cameras? We just went to concerts and enjoyed them, and everyone who went remembered the experience. I know I can remember my first concert. If I look through my old ticket stubs from the last 20 years, I could probably tell you something that happened at most of them. What has happened that people feel the need to record or take photos and videos of concerts? Why do they need something to remember it? Why can't they just experience it? Why can't they experience it in the way that the artist intended and remember it without staring at a phone screen? On the other hand, it must be very frustrating to be an artist, putting your heart into a performance only to be met with a sea of phones in the crowd with no energy coming back because of it. It is unpleasant to be among it, and it must be even worse performing for it. Story 57. I recently went to concerts on back-to-back nights. The first show banned phones, which had to be locked in yonder pouches at the entrance to the arena. The second show had no such rule. At the first show, the entire audience was engaged, singing, dancing, and chatting with each other beforehand. Many people met new folks. During the set, you could see the band clearly even from the back, as the arena was dark and there were no glowing screens in everyone's face. It made the arena show feel like a small rock club show with how intimate and fun it was. Everyone afterward remarked on what a special time they had and how not worrying about their phones made it better. At the second show, every time the band started playing one of their big hits, the wall of screens went up. I even saw people recording the large video boards instead of watching the band they came to see. Far fewer people were dancing or enjoying the music, and nobody was really talking to anyone else between sets. It was a very different vibe. Put your phones away. Your camera cannot handle the flashing lights well, and the sound quality will suffer. Just enjoy the concert. You will be amazed at how much you actually remember from the show, and even the memories that fade are still special in the moment, and that is what really counts. Trust me, your friends do not care about the show, or they would have bought tickets and joined you. Story 58. From my own world experience, this happens more with East Asian concertgoers. Since moving to Europe, I rarely see anyone recording more than a short clip of a concert. I really don't know why this happens. It seems almost automatic, like it is the obvious and unexamined action to take. I guess it is cultural, and you can adjust your expectations if you know the concert's demographics. Story 59. This is why meta glasses are so nice. I can mostly live in the moment. I know it sounds like an advertisement, but I do like these devices. Any recording glasses would do. Story 60. Exactly. You paid to feel it live, not rewatch it through a shaky screen. The vibe, the crowd, the sound. It is meant to be lived, not just documented. Story 61. I recorded a good third of the last concert I went to. The Pixel 9 takes some awesome video in 4K at 60 frames per second. I have rewatched it probably 30 times now and wish I had recorded the entire concert. I agree you do not enjoy it as much in the moment while recording, but you do get to enjoy it more afterward. Story 62. I hold the phone to my chest when recording. That way, I can watch the show with my eyes and do not annoy the people behind me. Story 63. Who actually spends the majority of their time doing this though? I have seen people do it for certain songs, and sometimes they are just holding the phone up and still watching the concert with their own eyes. Story 64. You can just hold up your phone, record, look past it, and miss nothing of the show. My friends and I always record if one person cannot make it. We sit together afterward with some drinks and watch the videos together or send them to each other. Recording does not take away anything from the experience or being in the moment if you do it right. Story 65. So many people record and upload better recordings than I can or care to make. I enjoy the show without a phone and relive it through their recordings. Best of both worlds. Story 66. I would rather have the people record the concert than the new generation screeching like a banshee as if they are being kidnapped. Story 67. If you do not have one already, buy a watch that can record audio. I snap 2 or 3 pictures quickly and record the show on my Apple Watch. It is the best souvenir. When I listen back, it really brings me right back to the time and place it was recorded. It does not bother anyone and is better than the poor quality video you took that you will never watch again. This is especially true for people who film fireworks. Story 68. My sister records entire concerts on her phone, then shares them with the rest of the family. The quality of the videos is terrible and not worth the time. I can go on YouTube and watch the same band play the same songs in a high-quality live performance. I wish she would fully immerse herself and enjoy the concert. Story 69. I do not record the whole show, but I usually record a little bit of each song so that I can create art from the video later or watch the drummer's technique. Story 70. I put my phone to record my favorite songs from the side and check it every so often to make sure the stage is in view. I have a very poor memory, so if I do not get anything, I will literally not remember anything about the show I went to. Story 71. I have a terrible ability to remember things, so any recordings or photos of a concert are most likely the only memory I will have other than the fact that I was physically there. Story 72. I never recorded concerts until it reached a point where my friends would ask me about certain moments in the concert and I could never remember. I definitely do not watch through my phone, but if I am having a great time and enjoying what is on stage, I will definitely pull my phone out for a bit. Story 73. I'm a forgetful person, and remembering a moment as it was with a recording is probably best for me. It's something to look back on, which feels more vivid when watching a recording than relying solely on my memory. Plus, it's my money, so I get to decide what I do in the concert as long as I don't bother anybody. Story 74. It's the people recording fireworks for me. Unless you are hoping to catch a big mishap, when are you ever going to rewatch a phone recording of fireworks? Story 75. Because people do not go to concerts for the experience. Instead, it is a performance for their social media pages. Most people do not care about what happens around them. The primary goal is the likes and comments they can potentially gain. Story 76. I saw Pixies in Montreal 2 weeks ago, and some stereotypical Reddit-looking person had their phone out recording the entire time. You are there by yourself, and I doubt you are showing anyone these videos. It did not affect my enjoyment of the show, but what a waste of a $90 ticket. Story 77. Why go to a concert if you cannot show everyone you are there? It kind of defeats the purpose in this day and age. Story 78. Because I have mastered the ability to watch the show live and record my experience mostly in frame without having to look at it constantly. Story 79. Because some people confuse having a memory with making a memory. They are not really there to feel the music. They are there to prove they were there. Also, dopamine hits from likes are greater than the actual experience, apparently. Story 80. I can remember a time when this did not happen. Now, it seems like the only thing that happens. What would be the difference between the footage on your phone and the footage on the other 5,000 phones? Why not have one phone upload the footage and then everyone link to it? Who would know or care about any difference? Story 81. Last concert I took 3 pictures and sent the nicest one to the artist. She was happy about it. I was in front of the stage, so I took a 15 to 20-second video clip of my favorite song of hers. That was the only use of my phone during the whole event, which lasted a bit more than 1 hour. As far as I could tell, most people took very few pictures or a short clip. Most of the time, I could not see a phone the few times I looked into the crowd. There were about 200 to 250 people, I would say. It was a small festival with different stages, but I have to say not many phones were used in general. I think it depends on the type of concert, but all in all, I know many people take videos they may post once and never look at again. Most of the time, smartphones cannot handle the lighting and volume anyway, and the videos are unwatchable. A picture or a short video can be a nice memory, but a long recording or handling a phone kind of ruins it. You cannot catch the moment except in your memory. Most big shows get recorded anyway, and you can rewatch them later. In short, take a picture or a short clip and then just enjoy the moment. Story 82. I asked my friend once, would you ever sit down for more than 5 minutes and watch a low-quality, non-continuous cell phone recording of a concert? No? So why are you posting it? Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.